is Tammy with Frou-frou Studio. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do the next prompt in the Nothing But Neutrals challenge. And for this week, the base is a frame. And so I am going to make a frame for a bee journal that I'm working on. And for those of you that are new and not familiar with the challenge, it's a pretty simple one. Every week I just give you a base to work with, and you are to make a piece of ephemera, a piece of art, work in your art journal, anything you would like, just using that item. And only neutrals. So neutrals, black, brown, gray, white, and any shade thereof. So, I think that's all. Oh, I have a playlist on my channel that has all the week's previous prompts. If you want to go back and start at the beginning, or you can start right now, or you can pick and choose which ones you want to do. It doesn't make any difference to me. And as always, if you use the hashtag Nuttin, N-U-T-T-I-N, but neutrals, either on Instagram or YouTube, you can go and see what everybody else has made, or you can post what you have made. I think that's all the info out of the way, so let's get started and I'll tell you what I'm going to do for this week. So I picked this is a Tim Holtz piece that was supposed to be, you know, just like a piece of his ephemera, and I used a die and I cut a hole in it to make a frame. So this is going to be my base, but I want to grunge it up a little bit because, you know, I'm not happy unless it's grungy. So I'm going to take my little sander and just kind of hit it. And this will also take off some of that shine that's on these pieces. And it will allow you then to, for inks and oxides and that kind of thing, to adhere a little better. But it also, you know, makes it look older, which is the point of me doing it anyway. So you can see how it just kind of scratches up the surface and kind of fades the text a little bit. Okay, now that we have that done, I'm going to take some vintage photo here and ink around the edges, both inside the cutout and around the outside edge. So if everyone is having a good day, I'm filming this on Monday for Tuesday, and it is my birthday today. So not that we should even celebrate those after a certain age. We ought to just forget that they exist. I'd like to. But I woke up this morning and hubby said, "You need to come outside on the porch." We have a screened-in porch on the back side of our house. So I went out there and I hear these little bitty meows. And there was a kitten up under my deck. And so I have a new kitten. He's so young. She, I believe it's a she. But I got her out. She eventually came out and we fed her and stuff like that. So she is currently on my screened-in porch in the back. We got her a basket to lay down in, and of course she's not in the basket. She's on, I have a day bed out there. It's kind of like a sleeping porch. If you're in the South, you'll know what I mean by that. But it's got like a day bed. And, she is sleeping on the day bed behind one of the pillows. So I'm glad I was able to get her out. I don't know how in the world she made it to our house alive, to tell you the truth, because I have said before, I live in the country, and, you know, I don't have a close neighbor, and how she survived not getting scooped up by a hawk or a coyote or hit by a car or any of those things is a miracle in itself. So, you know, it was meant to be for this kitty to show up on my birthday, and so yeah. But she's safe now. And my daughter has decided that she needs to be called Binks because it is October, and Hocus Pocus is her favorite Halloween movie of all time. She has loved it since she was a little girl. So she immediately said that I needed to name her Binks. So I guess she will be Binks the cat. I'll post a picture of her at the end of the video so that you can see her. And then I got to open my gifts from my hubby, and he bought me all vintagey kind of things that I can include in journals. And so you'll be seeing those in the future in my journals, and I'll post a picture of that at the end of the video too. A bunch of old, one of the gifts was a lot of vintage Denison office supplies. There's like paper clips and gum labels and key tags, and all in the original cool boxes. And then he got me some tins, and he got me a wooden box. All things I love. So yeah, it's been a good birthday. Alright, so I have this plastic that is just like from a Tim Holtz, you know, the outer wrapping of Tim Holtz products, and I'm going to put it behind my window here. I'm trying to feel if it's double, like if it's still a bag. I don't think it is. I think I've already used half of it. So let's kind of figure out where we want to cut this. So, and my sister be here shortly. She has made me some homemade banana pudding for my birthday. I'm not a big cake eater. And She knows I love banana pudding with the real cooked from scratch pudding and real egg whites, whipped egg whites on top, not, you know, from a, not instant pudding. My dad taught us how to make banana pudding when we were little. My dad, for those of you that are new, my dad was the cook in our family because my mother was a nurse and she worked night shift. And my dad was in the Air Force, and at that time, or most of the time, after he quit flying, he worked at the base in the charge of the motor pool at the Air Force Base, and so he had the more 9-to-5 job, and so he was always, I'm sorry, I'm reaching for some double-sided tape here. He was always the one that was home, you know, in the evenings when we got home from school and stuff like that. And so, and he loved to cook. And so he is the one that taught us all to cook. And he did all of the house cleaning and all the domestic stuff. Along with working, because my mother, you know, working from midnight till 8 a.m., of course, slept during the day. So, not that my mom never did the domestic stuff when we were younger and my dad was still flying. She had pretty much, was a stay-at-home mom, because my dad was gone all the time, so she didn't work during those times. So that was when we were, you know, really little, or I was really little. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna stick my plastic on, because I just find that it works the best to do it this way. The hardest part about this one, again, was keeping it neutral. Alright, so there is my frame, and technically I could be finished, but of course I need to embellish it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of Tim Holtz tissue, and I'm going to take a piece of tea-dyed paper, and I'm going to trace around my frame, and this is going to be my back, because my thinking is I'm going to make this a flip out in my journal so that you can write on the back of it. So I'm going to take my pencil and just kind of, mark around it so I can cut it to fit on the back. Sorry, I'm going some slow, but I want my little rounded corners to be neat. See, if I don't go slow, I can't stay on the line. Isn't that pathetic? Especially when it comes to cutting round things. Okay, so that's my back. So now I want to place this tissue paper so that it shows up nice in the window. So I'm just going to kind of move it around till I get it where I want it. Move it over. Alright, and I think over just a little bit more. Slide. So if I go all the way to the edge, what does it look like? Okay, that'll work. So if I go to the edge, and then go about right there. Alright, so I'm going to just glue this with glue stick because it's going to be behind this plastic. So I'm just going to glue from where I kind of made my mark there down. And even with this edge over here. Sorry, I hope I was on frame there. Just like that. And the reason I took the coffee dyed paper is to kind of knock the strong white of it off. And then I'm going to tear this edge here. Just because I don't want to, I'm going to flip it around to the back, and I don't want a straight edge. I want it to kind of blend more into the tea dye that's on the back side. Okay, and then put some glue on that. Let me get my glue book again. I'm trying not to rip it. And then flip this over. Okay, and then I'm going to trim it off the bottom. Okay, so that will now glue on the back of here for the back. And when I make it a flip up in the journal and you flip it open, you're going to have that to write on. Okay, so I'm going to ink that just a little bit, but need to trim it because I got it a little bit crooked somewhere along the line. Even cutting as slow as I was cutting. I don't want to cut that edge because that's where I wrapped it. So we'll bring it over this way. And just kind of trim that excess off. Okay, so now what I want to do is I took my little beehive honeycomb die cut, and I cut a couple of pieces out, and I want to put them right in the corners. But I want to glue it, because I'm not sure how to glue on the plastic. I want to glue it to the card that we just made. So I'm just trying to get it lined up. Alright, so a little bit more. There's probably an easier way to do this than what I'm doing it, but actually what I could do is this corner. So I could use that double-sided tape. I think that's what I'll do. That way I can be sure that it's tacked down in the right spot, because it's going to be glued to the back anyway, so this will at least tack it down. And hold it where I want it. Just like that. And then I have another little piece. I was trying to decide if I wanted it to go here or if I wanted it to go up here. I think I kind of like it there. Alright, so let's put that there. I could always cut another piece to put on the back, but I don't want it on the back as well. Sorry, I keep moving everything toward me. I know you can't see when it's... pulled more toward me. Alright, so like that. Yeah. Alright, so now when we put the back on, that's what we have. So I'll glue that. Get all these little pieces out of the way. And I'm going to use art glitter glue for that. And I'm going to go way out here to the outer edge, away from the plastic. And glue that on. Yay. And then to decorate the rest of the frame, I've got this label, which is from Louisa's digital, Louisa Heinzel, where she did the digital of the labels on her awesome cabinet. This is also Louisa Heinzel. This kit has all these round little labels with bugs on them, and there's bees and all kinds of different bugs, butterflies. And then, because it's October, I'm going to put this number 10 on here. So now all we need to do is ink the back. Oops. I just got ink on my sanding disc because I grabbed the wrong one. That's all right. Alright, let's put some splatters on here as well. And I'm going to lightly ink that so it blends in more. And there you have it. There's my frame for this week. And like I said, when I go to put it in my journal, I'm going to make it so that you can flip it out and write on it. And I even already have this little envelope here, and I'm thinking about clipping that on somehow. so that you have another little flip out here, and the honey part shows through on the side, or maybe even up here. I like that idea too. And then this will flip, and then you'll have this, which I'll decorate, and this can flip up and open. So yeah, I like that idea. All right, so there we go. There's our make for frame. Next week is a really hard base, guys, and it's something that none of us have. So I don't know if you can handle it or not. Next week's base is a book page. And you can do whatever you want with the book page. If you want to do collage on a book page, if you want to make a journal tag, a journal card, an envelope, whatever you want to do. It's just a book page and using the neutral colors. So, thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys back on Thursday for I Saw It on Pinterest. Until then, everybody have a great start to your week, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye.